everyone. I am Maria Yaksha, and I get to serve at CCU. And one of the fun things that I get to do is I get to meet so many different amazing people who have graduated from CCU. And today I am actually in person with CCU alum Victoria Dooling.
Hello.
Hello, Victoria. Normally this is on Zoom, so this is like so much fun. I get to be in person. And so we just finished the When She Leads conference in Vegas.
We're ready for a nap.
Yes, we are. And some of us are, we have spent for the Lord. Like Paul said, I will spend to be spent.
Yes.
And so, yes, so it's been a really full, long day, but wonderful. And so I actually met Victoria 4 months ago at the When She Leads conference in Temecula, and I'm like, oh, I want to interview her. And you were kind of going through some changes, and transition, and yet you remained calm, and you had your eyes on the Lord, and you were trusting in Him, and you were just such a great witness of a woman trusting in the Lord. And so. So you are the alum of the month for March. Congratulations.
Sorry, everybody.
Yeah. Let's tell her what she won. We're a little giddy because we're a little tired. So let's ask some basic questions. Could you give me your 1-minute testimony just so that the people out there can get to know you?
Okay, I was born and raised in Las Vegas. My family was very active in the church, in ministry. My dad got ordained as a pastor when I was 4, so I'm like your ultimate definition of what a church kid is.
A PK kid.
Never get picked up after class in Sunday school because your parents are talking. Like that was, the whole 9 yards. I knew about Jesus growing up, and I believed He was real, and I loved Him. And when I was in high school, the Lord brought me to a couple different situations that tested my faith and made me recognize that I had to actually make my faith my own, and recognize that following Jesus has a cost. And so high school and college is when the Lord really started captivating my heart and growing me and stretching me. And I met my husband in Bible college at Calvary Bible College, and we got married in 2015. And immediately moved to Bakersfield, California, where we've been doing ministry for the last 8 years.
Wow.
And we have 3 awesome kids.
What are their ages?
Oh, they're 5, 4, and 2.
Oh my goodness, and they're so cute. I've seen pictures, and I know they're your parents' favorite.
Oh man.
So that kind of leads us to the next question. How did you hear about CCU?
Okay, so I actually heard about CCU through my mom. Her name is Kathy Morales. She is a teacher and was an adjunct facility staff member at CCU, and she was always talking about how awesome CCU was. And so when I finished my bachelor's through Calvary Bible College, I wanted to continue my education. So, and CCU was where I went to get my master's.
Awesome. And your mom was my professor.
Oh my goodness.
And I just loved her because she was just so encouraging, and just had such a passion and a heart for women's ministry, and I just love that about her. And so how did the Lord direct you then to take classes? Was it just like, I'm just going to jump in and take 1 class at a time? Was it, I think I'll tackle 2 or 3? Because, for people that don't know, the 3-unit class at CCU is condensed into 8 weeks. So it goes really quick.
It's a lot. I alternated between 2 classes and 1 class. My master's degree, I started it before I had kids, and then I got pregnant and thought, this is too much. And then I had 2 kids and thought, I should finish this degree. Finish this degree before you have children.
Yes. Way easier.
So I have vivid memories of writing papers for my master's class with a 1-year-old in a bumbo on the table in front of me, and a 2-year-old in the high chair playing with Play-Doh right next to me. And so it was wild. Wow. I'm glad it's done.
Yes, you are.
It was wild.
And so one of the nice things, I think one of my favorite things about CCU is the flexibility.
Oh, it's fantastic. No, there's nowhere else you can be typing a paper with toddlers screaming wild around you. It's helpful.
Right. With CCU being 100% online, you can take classes. There's flexibility within the structure of, when your assignments are due. You have discussion board posts that you know that you need to get in by a certain time.
You can work during nap time windows.
Yes.
And the professors are so kind. Oh my goodness. Every professor was so encouraging. And whenever I would have a question and send them an email, they'd respond so fast, and they'd be really thorough in their answers. Like they really wanted to help me understand. It was so cool. I was very encouraged by that.
That's awesome. So exactly what degree did you graduate with? So it's really long. I couldn't remember.
So I got my degree. It's a Master of the Arts in Christian Education with emphasis on educational administration.
Wow. Yeah, that is a mouthful.
It's a mouthful.
Wow. And yet the Lord has also given you a gift as a worship leader.
Thank God for it. I appreciate it.
And it was so wonderful to actually get to just enjoy and worship with you today. That was just really sweet.
It was such a sweet morning. I was telling a friend today, one of my top 10 favorite things in the world is to be in a room with women who just want to worship. There's nothing sweeter than being in that environment. It's so encouraging. And you can just rejoice together in God's goodness, and the community is fantastic.
Well, and God's given you a gift, and God gives gifts so that we can use them to bring other people along, and you get to usher people into the throne room of God, to the throne of grace. That is just so amazing. So how do you feel like God has really just used your degree for where you're serving at now?
I think because I'm not actually working out of school with my degree, I think the majority of the things that I learned are more discipline and being intentional and seeking to understand. It's actually a lot of the classes involved like teaching and counseling, and my husband and I were doing youth ministry for a good number of years, and those classes helped give me a better perspective as well into how to disciple and train up this next generation, and ask questions and help them grow as well. So,
that's awesome. And let's see, did you have a favorite book?
I enjoyed Leaving Yesterday Behind. It was one of the books in the Christian counseling class. It was talking about just giving you really practical examples, because I'm like such a visual person. So if you don't give me a very clear example of what are we counseling about, then I get lost. So it was a really helpful one to help me like kind of click a couple light bulbs on. It's like, okay, that makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah. So if there's anybody watching who's thinking like, gosh, I'd really love to go to Bible college. I would really like to either complete the degree that I started. What would you say to them?
Oh man, I think sooner is better than later. Learn from my mistake. Having 3 kids, it's definitely easier beforehand if you can. But I'd say that if you're setting the time aside to learn more about God, like that's something that the enemy hates, but the Lord loves it. That we're being diligent to present ourselves approved, to be able to give a good answer, give a defense for the hope that's in us. And so, I would say that.
Well, and one of the things I just loved about CCU, the heart is to make disciples. And so we want to be able to better equip people to serve the Lord in the giftings that they have. And so obviously for you and I, we're not pastors of a church, and we have different giftings, and yet CCU can foster those gifts. And help us to be better equipped to serve the Lord with where He has planted us. And so it's just a joy to get to know you, and it's just fun to get to be in person. So I might have to take this on the road.
Yeah, right on the road. You need a tagline.
Hashtag I'm right on the road. It has been a long day, but thank you so much for watching. And if you're interested in taking classes at CCU, please check out calvarychapeluniversity.edu, and you can look up all of our various degree programs and certificates. And so God bless you, and we'll see you next time.